I was the second time I was on mute. So hello everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Binge O Clock. Can we please have Rohan Joshi on screen? Right, what is up, Rohan?
Fuck off! Are you a sicko? Are you a sicko?
Welcome to this Succession stream. So excited. We have a few quick announcements before we start. Announcement number one, guys, we are only discussing Succession. Please,
Yes.
please do not tell us about anything. Do not tell us about Spider-Man. Do not tell us about Hawkeye. Do not tell us about a bunch of things. I'll be very honest. Don't be that person. Please don't be that person. Not only will we remove you, but I will permanently block you from this channel for just being an absolute piece of shit. Number two,
that's not good league behavior.
it's not league behavior. League so far 10
That's
episodes
not-
has been the nicest, most
Agreed.
makhan
Most
ever.
beautiful.
Okay, so everyone has been nice, everyone has been sweet. So that's what's gonna happen.
A true Justice League.
So, League, this is what's going to happen, okay? If by chance, okay, now we have Devesh. Give it up for Devesh. Devesh is a mod every episode. So much respect for Devesh. Devesh here is the spoiler police, okay? If he notices that anyone is leaking spoilers, not only will he block you, but you as the League have to spam the chat with random stuff, okay? If you want, like, spam it with, I don't know, hachi puchi. Say hachi puchi, okay? Say whatever you want. Just
Say fuck off.
Yeah, say fuck off. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's do it. For this Succession stream.
Yeah, fuck
That
off.
doesn't mean people give us spoiler just so that the shit happens, but just spam the chat with fuck off. Okay, so let's just, long story short, have a fun experience. We are here to discuss Succession, and let's just stick to the topic at hand. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the League. Welcome to a brand new episode. And on that note, episode 10. What a celebration. Episode 10 of Binge O Clock. 10 consecutive weeks. You have no idea how proud.
Like I said, this is officially the most consistent thing I've done in my life, not just on YouTube, in my life. Hands down, the most consistent thing I've done in my life. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we've done this.
I'm so glad. This is just so much fun. It's like every week I'm like, what do we talk about? There is so much to talk about.
There's always something to talk about. Always.
And because today's the 10th episode, we have just a few announcements before we start and we call our esteemed guests. Number one, you know what to do. Okay, League, take this link, spam all your groups saying, have you seen Succession? Sahil, Rohan, Sucharita and Nikhil are talking about Succession. You have to watch it right now. That's number one. Number two, spam the like. Abhi, dabao. Like the bow. That is how it is. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. But
do it.
Spam the like. Because if you spam the like.
Hit that like button like it's a kid and you're a Porsche.
Yeah. Just.
If you know, you know.
Just hit it. Don't walk away. Just hit it. It will make you feel better. Hit it and let us start, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, League, are you guys ready? Come on, let's wherever you guys are sitting, give a tiny little applause, and give it up for our esteemed members of Waystar Royco, Nikhil Taneja and Sucharita Tyagi. Yay!
Hello.
Why did you ask everyone to give a tiny round of applause and not like a huge one? Like
we're the outsiders, Tom.
Yeah, like
and Jerry.
We're
We're not Roys, so we don't really deserve the in-house love. हम बाहर के लोग हैं, बाहर से हैं.
Well, I'm glad you get it, Jerry.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think I reached this position? धूप में बाल सफेद किए हैं मैंने. 30 years.
I will tell you guys, all those who are watching, this is what happened, okay? So before we set up, I decided to just rename everyone to characters that they wanted to be. And Sucharita is Jerry, I am Roman, and I'm not even kidding. She was actually complaining about how I sent her a lot of messages last night. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
ये तो,
it's literally, Jerry yelling at Roman about messages. It's just,
Yeah, because it was like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, hi, and I was like, what is going on with Sahil? Why is he texting me so much? Sahil has never texted me in our lives and all the time that we've known each other through common friends. What the fuck is going on? Will you come and talk about Succession? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
why not?
Of course.
Yeah.
I was talking to Rohan. I'm like, dude, I know so many people who lose their stuff over Succession. I know Nikhil.
Oh, yeah.
Nikhil is one of the guys who I have seen, like, I've never seen anyone who literally is, oh my god, Succession.
every week, every Monday, I look forward to like Nikhil's like just extravaganza of like his day-long Succession orgasm.
You know how hard it is for me. I follow a lot of folks on Twitter, you know, from America. So how hard it is for me to see all the reactions that come in the morning and then wait till the end of the day so I can watch it in peace because it's a Monday morning. So I have the whole day of work. I have to wait and then finally, like, I have to tell Daisy, my wife, that, you know, this 1 hour, no matter what happens, you know, nobody can disturb me. Like, it is sacrifice. It is this 1 hour is mine.
Yeah, but it is like.
Can I साल तो तेरे पीछे की खिड़की खोली है और तूने एसी चलाया अभी.
नहीं, my AC remote is not working. I'm not, guys. Come on. I get it.
That's a very Roman move.
Yeah, that's a very
Roman move.
That, and then eventually I just will start slinking like this as the conversation continues.
Hiding.
Just be
That's
like,
actually a great term.
yeah.
And then suddenly I'm just gonna go into another room. I'll be like, Roman, get in here.
Romulus.
To all the people who are watching the league, we just have to say, yes, this will be a conversation about Succession and all the episodes that have happened so far. The finale just happened, season 3 finale just happened. And I have to ask you guys, when did you all start? Like, when did you start watching Succession? Were you one of the first adopters?
Yeah, I started watching it at the start only. Like,
Same.
same.
I
Like
have
week on week.
I have that claim to fame for Schitt's Creek. I was watching it before anybody else got to that show.
That's very cool.
And Kim's Convenience as well, where Simu Liu is from. So I was watching Kim's Convenience and Schitt's Creek like years ago before any of it was cool. But Succession, actually, I started watching only when the second season dropped. So I had a lot of it to binge. And I started watching it on a flight. I had an international flight.
Nice.
And I was like, wait, there's this show I've heard about. And I had like this 16-hour flight. And I was like, you know, I've been hearing good things about the show. And this is when not a lot of people were actually actively reviewing it in India. Because, you know, not a whole lot of big names as big as they are right now. Probably like Culkin was like interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah,
that was pretty much it. So I watched it on a flight, and I watched the whole thing on one flight.
Now we come to the important. Tell me, you were at least in business class, or did you feel poorer and poorer as each episode progressed?
Yes.
When you started off comfortable in economy, and by the end of it, just aware of your poverty.
Yeah.
ठंड लग रही है. Economy plus, I don't know. Succession took me back to watching K3G for the first time and realizing just how garib my family is.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, Succession is like the Raichans are the groundskeepers for the Roys.
घर भी ऐसे ही है उनका.
हाँ, exactly.
महल
So
जैसा.
yeah. So
Destination wedding में तो रहते हैं वो लोग.
Basically.
You know, but it's so interesting that, you know, for someone who must have binged season 1, like I remember, Rohan, you would probably then remember, like watching it week on week and not understanding what the hell the show is.
Yeah.
You know, like for at least first four episodes, you're just like, is this a comedy? Is this
what is this?
What is going on? What is the tone of this show? And then this is one episode in the middle where everything changes.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my god, this is a drama, and this is a great fucking drama. But you know, you had to stick with it for 5 episodes with this weird tone where you have no idea what this show is, and then to binge watch it at one go. Did you at any point while watching it, did you know that you're going to finish it, or were you just like, what is this?
No, when I started watching it, I'm just like, hey, this is like genuinely when it started, it just felt like, hey, this is a nice sort of it's like a gritty reboot of every rich person soap opera ever, right? When it started, that's what it felt like. All right, okay, this is literally the plot of so many soap operas, right? Rich family fighting over money. And then, like you said, the thing is, right, though, yes, it is a drama, but is it to you? To me, it's the greatest comedy of our age.
You know,
Like-
but that is the debate, right? That is the
Right.
actual debate of Succession. Like right now, they did an entire interview, right? With why do I always every
Jeremy
say like a
Strong.
running joke? I always forget. But like, they did an interview with Jeremy Strong, and he firmly believes that he's in a serious drama about family and conflict, and everyone else is like, "Ye to comedy hai." You know, like it's that beautiful dissonance where you're like, I'm interested in knowing it may seem serious, but like if you're from an outside perspective, you're like, these are all bumbling idiots. All of them.
It's interesting you say that, because I also recently read an interview. This was not with Jeremy Strong. This was a random this thing about. So it was Ebert talking about comedies, right? And in a way, what Jeremy Strong, because what Ebert says is that for a comedy to truly work, the situation the person is in, that character must not know it is comedic. For the character, it is an absolutely serious, deadpan, distinct situation, and the comedy comes from the fact that we as the viewer are aware of how painfully comedic this is.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's one of the great, because especially Jeremy Strong, there are times where, like, see, others have a lot of great comedic dialogue. Jeremy Strong has so many of these dead straight finance bro lines that he thinks are so serious. And then you start laughing at just his sort of seriousness and alphaness about it. Like, he's not, like, my favorite thing is that he keeps talking in, like, these stupid historical metaphors. Like, I've read a book, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he keeps referring to dad as, like, Mussolini, and you just lead him away and, you know, never see him again. And he's always talking, like, the fall of the American century and this and that. He sees himself as, like, this great intellect, and it's very funny for me to see.
Well, it's so bizarre, right? Like, I mean, when you see the show, it's like everyone knows a Kendall Roy. Everyone knows, you know, like this sort of character, this sort of like, you know, this same, like you described, this entire historical backstory, who thinks of like himself that, you know, in history there are these great men who come forward. But I want to meet a Roman Roy. I've not met a Roman Roy. You know, I need to meet someone as flippant as that personality. That is something.
You need to start hanging out with more youngest kids.
No, you need to become a woman, because all of us have met Roman Roys in every professional environment we've ever been in. Men just don't see Roman Roys around them. Women see the Roman Roys. Women observe the Roman Roys. Women, and I'm not just talking about the inappropriate sexual conduct. I'm talking about his general attitude of just being like, I walk into this room and I own it, and not in a good way, in like the most douchebaggy way possible, that the women around him immediately catch on. They immediately make like, if there's like 5 women in a room and a Roman Roy walks in, those 5 women are immediately looking out for each other without actually saying that to each other. They've shared a look. So welcome to my life, where I've met mostly Roman Roys.
I will change my name. I will change my.
Mostly those guys.
I was
just gonna say, Jerry's yelling at Roman again. Jerry's yelling at Roman again.
Listen, there's a reason I identify with Jerry the most, because she doesn't take shit.
Yeah.
She knows she's surrounded by shit.
Yeah.
She participates in the shit giving a whole lot, but she doesn't take Roman's shit. She's the only person who does not take Roman's shit, because she's seen 50,000 Romans come and go, and the only reason this Roman is sticking around is because he's Roman Roy.
Right.
That's deep.
That is quite deep.
No further questions.
This is the moment where
No
all
further
3 men
questions.
on the panel were like, "Hey, you're right. You know what? You take it. This is a correct argument. Take it back."
Got like this. She's absolutely right
Yeah.
about and this is, and I'm glad, because this is to me the great thing about Kieran Culkin. For me, he's the actor of the year, like of this show. For
100%.
me,
Stunning.
like of the
Stunning.
season. Like
100%.
He owns this season, because I am still trying to wrap my head around the fact that this guy sent somebody a dick pic that they didn't want. I'm reasonably sure there was a point 2 episodes ago where he was like, fascism is cool, we could get behind that. And somehow there was a point in that conversation in the finale where I felt for him and I hated myself for it. I was just like, this goes against everything you are as a person. Don't fall for this shit. But that one conversation with his brother in the dirt, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah, but that's the conflict of the whole show. That's why the writing of the show is so great, because at no point the writers want you to feel comfortable with these characters. They want you to be uncomfortable with these characters. They don't, because our instinct going in as viewers is to figure these characters out so we can find ourselves or someone we know or someone we've heard of or someone we met reflected in these characters, so that this universe and this world makes sense to us in a way that we can comprehend and understand. And that's why Succession is so great and so amazing, is because the writers of the show go out of their way to make sure that I don't understand fucking Greg till the last episode. What Greg is made of. Look at him in the last episode. He's fucking long bottoming out here. And that's what Succession, the whole conflict of Succession is that you will not be able to figure these people out.
Yeah, actually, that's a very fascinating. No, sorry, Nikhil, go for it. See, I mean, she's right.
No, absolutely. And in fact, I heard the Succession. I've been hearing the Succession podcast, and it was something that Jesse Armstrong actually said in the last episode, that one of the reasons that he thinks the show's caught on in such a big way is because he also, and he said it even in the final BTS of the season, which is really, it's like, I'm on the fence about human beings, and he says this even in the podcast where he says that. The essential thing he believes about human beings is that, nobody who's good is actually all good and nobody who's bad is actually all bad, right? And that's the reason that all these characters, on the face of it could be just these terrible, terrible human beings. And at the same time, they'll find these human moments about them that you will resonate with, that you will, feel like, okay, this could have happened to me, or I know somebody who this could happen to, even though nothing about their life, nothing is like us.
Yeah, nothing.
You guys, this is why we watch true crime, because it's fascinating to find the humanity of somebody who's done evil things. It's one of the reasons why we watch true crime. Of course, voyeurism is a big part of it.
I watch true crime for tips. I watch true crime for tips.
You know that this is live and being recorded
What the
simultaneously.
hell?
Hello.
You guys watch true crime
yeah.
for voyeurism?
Hello, making a murderer. हाँ मिल गया. Season 3 मिल गया. मिल गया.
Made a murderer.
But it's the point is the Succession feels almost like, it doesn't feel like watching true crime, but it kind of hits the same emotional spot as watching true crime many, many times, because you see the humanity of this really evil, twisted person, and you're conflicted within your own morality, which side you go with. You watch the Ted Bundy tapes, or you watch, the Unabomber show, and you're like, it's just this guy who's alone and lonely and just needs love and understanding. But look at what this person is actually doing.
Like,
so where do you stand?
I know we are jumping from character to characters, but you can sense the humanity in each and every character except Logan Roy. I've never felt an ounce of humanity in that character. It's so fascinating. There are so many times in each episode where you want to empathize with a certain character. There are certain characters which you despise, and then you're like, bro, I will love you no matter what you do, which is Tom Wormsgans, always has my love and appreciation. But Logan Roy is someone where I have never felt even an ounce of love for him.
I don't think you're supposed to, though. I think that, but I also think you're not supposed to, in the sense that for all of them, for every single other character on the show, Logan Roy is the unscalable mountain, right? He is the ultimate unscalable mountain in the sense that you can try to win his love, you can try to win his approval, you can try to understand him, you can do all of those things, but it doesn't matter what you do, he could flip on a dime. All right, because the only thing that, as far as we know, that this person likes, like truly likes, is controlling people. Winning and controlling people.
And controlling mainly.
Manipulating people, right? Like pitting them against one another. Part of it is his victory, but he also really enjoys walking away from explosions. And that's part of what makes the show fascinating. Like, of all the characters, he's the one character who doesn't give a shit.
Also,
if you like him or not.
One of the reasons why the audience never likes Logan Roy, in my understanding, is because since episode 1, Logan Roy is dead man walking. That has been the premise. ये कभी भी टपकेगा, और जब वो टपकता नहीं, तो उससे anxiety build होती. He will lose his mind. He will go into the hospital. He is now dead. Now not dead. Now he's being overthrown. Now he's not being bought out. And that is what generates anxiety in any of the conflicts that the show has had over 3 seasons. And that's what also makes the audience dislike him, because he's the one who makes the audience the most uncomfortable, because he's the one who's the most unpredictable of the lot also. Like Logan Roy, Kendall, you know that Kendall is going to try to do something, but he's going to fuck it up. You just know that he's going to fuck up whatever he's going to try to do. But Logan, you don't know whether he's going to sell. You don't know whether he's going to now ever come back from this UTI-induced mania that he's suffering. So that's also one of the ways that the writing makes sure that this dead man walking is the main cause of our dislike throughout the show as well. Maybe that's why you don't feel ever कि इसको थोड़े प्यार की जरूरत नहीं है, इसको प्यार की
इसको नहीं मिलेगा
थप्पड़ की जरूरत है,
प्यार मिलेगा भी also like fuck off.
You know, and what's interesting,
कमाल घोटे की जरूरत है उसको.
Well, Sahil said that the only character he thinks that he can't empathize with is Logan Roy. I think the other unlikable character that's like it's become really fast is Shiv. I don't think that she has any humanity in her this season. I haven't seen like a minute in this season where there is any human characteristic in her.
It started anyway second season onwards. Chotu traces of this.
Yeah, and I think it started from the day that she met that woman to convince her and went everything against what she seemingly was for, to convince her to take up the deal with, you know, the woman who had been harassed. And I've been just seeing, like, I've been waiting in every episode for a redeeming quality. I actually thought this whole season is leading up to Shiv kind of breaking and then destroying Logan. Like, that was my thought because the way that, you know, all the microaggressions and macroaggressions that were being done against her, I thought she's going to turn like evil at the end of this and just going to destroy everyone. And yet she's just, I mean, like, her craft has stayed completely consistent, which is completely a horrible, terrible person with zero redeeming qualities. And I don't understand why, you know, because Logan, I get it. I don't understand why Shiv is like this.
Someone like Vivek also has added to this. He's like, I feel like Shiv is written the shallowest compared to the other siblings. Like, is that something that like you feel?
I don't think she's written shallow.
Yeah,
no,
I don't think
not
that's true at all. Like, first of all, like I'm not with you. I mean, of course, Tom, you think that. But in a way, I feel like in some ways, to me, she's one of the most sympathetic characters, because more than the other two, also being a girl, she's had to fight the hardest for daddy's approval, because he's that guy. He's literally that guy. He has manipulated her for his approval left, right and center. Like, she's the only one that has anything resembling principles in terms of like going against what like Waystar media outlets, etc.
Her political career, her entire political
career, all of that. She's the only person.
Her
blind spot. No, but that's what she gave it up. Sure, but her blind spot, and for me, and this is the beautiful tragedy of Shiv, right? And I feel like the story with her that they're trying to sort of tell about wealth and the wealthy is, she doesn't see the betrayal coming because she can't fathom that this peasant could do this, like, for want of a better word. Like, it's unfathomable to her. And in a way, I think what's been interesting this season is, especially like at the wedding, for me, one of my favorite scenes was when she comes back to the bedroom and she's like, let's make a baby, right? You can see how she's manipulated by sort of both her parents, right? Like that one conversation with her mother just pushes her buttons so hard, because she sort of tries to come in there from the point of view of, she's actually been one of the few that has in fact Roman that way, I think, has the most selfish motivations for taking over the company. I think Kendall, genuinely, he might be an idiot, but he believes he's put in the time to do it. And Siobhan actually thinks she has decent ideas for the company. Like, she has a slight bit of a shit to give about the future.
Not to mention that Siobhan's been kept out of the family business her whole entire life. She's only entered the family business like in last season, or like towards the end of first season. She enters properly. I forget like if it was the beginning of the second season or end of first season when she quits her political career and joins the family business. She's promised that she's going to become the CEO.
Yeah, he dangles that carrot in front of her, like very manipulatively and obviously.
Constantly. That's when she quits her, Bernie Sanders job and comes to this side. And then, her mother is telling her, I should never have had children, at the same moment when she's having this conversation with her husband whether they should have children. So like Rohan said, she's being manipulated by her father very
Yeah,
obviously, and by her mother in ways that no one realizes the fucked up shit that's going on here with a mother-daughter relationship, which the show doesn't explore more of, which is my grouse with the show. Not that they've not written Shiv properly. I think they wrote Shiv properly. I don't think they wrote any of the other female characters properly, especially Logan's wife, not
Like
Caroline,
Marsha. Yeah.
What a great
Yeah.
character. We meet Marsha's son
Yeah.
in like season 1. He's come to
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, and then he's gone.
It's
There's
all
no
forgotten.
mention
It's all
All
forgotten.
gone.
Yeah.
of like her past life, and because Marsha seems like someone who actually loves Logan. Like in the beginning, at least, she actually taking care of him. She's concerned when he's ill. She's telling these kids to fuck off in her own way, like don't bother him. And then the season 3 doesn't bother with Marsha at all.
So I have a theory about that, which is like in the sense that to me, what I kind of liked about that is also shows beyond a point how transient even the most important relationships in these people's lives can be, right? Especially to somebody as capacious as Logan, where this is going to sound horrible and I'm thinking it's in context, like he's found a young hot piece of ass and he's done. He's powered through. She has no relationship with the children. So from the point of view of the characters from whom the story is being told, Marsha's done. Like she's gone, right? And that's one thing actually what I really like about season 3 did in general is that you think something's built up to be a plot point, you come to the next episode and it's 3 months later.
So
Like,
I
interested in those
kind of
which is kind of nice, like which I thought was interesting, cruel but nice. Like
Okay, so I have a different point of view. I think what we are kind of doing, maybe unconsciously over here, is not holding Succession accountable for not doing a really good job of characters other than the main white straight men. Because think about it, right? Like you had like such a huge. I mean, there has been some criticism that there are no black folks of significance on this show. Now, this has been asked to the creators of the show, and they've said, but in this world of white folks, they just don't care enough about black people. At the same time, you had the opportunity this year of having really good actor as the lawyer, in this really significant role, and she had like 20 lines, I suppose, across the entire thing. And she's a very good actor. She's a very well-known actor. I forget her name now, but yeah, exactly. And she's been around in a bunch of other shows. And Marsha again is an actor of color. And what happens to her. So for that reason specifically, I genuinely do think she was not very well written, because when you think, I understand where you're coming from when you say that that she's a sympathetic character in that sense. Except that many times if you hear the clues laid out, it kind of always says that she's actually as sinister as her dad, right? She's also actually as manipulative.
That was what they were planning for season 1, which I thought would be a great good reveal, but then that's the thing, that entire thread just.
No, but see, in the scene in the beginning second episode of this season, she says that I did not know, and then everyone's like, because I was like 14 or something, I was like 10. They're like, you're not 10, you were 14. You knew what was going on. Again, her mother repeats this when she says I was a child. She's like, you're not a choice, you made a choice. So there is this tone throughout that she's chosen. Even right now, when she had when the picture was being taken with that fascist, she could have just said no, but she chose. So we are actually, again, and I feel like there is something that they're trying to say over here, but it's not being said very well, because they are constantly making her as this like unlikable character, whereas while every other straight white man is unlikable, they've found these moments of humanity across all of them. In this season, I didn't feel like there's one place where I saw any human. I did see the human side of her. I didn't see the humanity in her. So I feel like somewhere this show also kind of, I think, loses out in terms of not doing good enough by characters who are not straight white men. But that's my opinion.
Wow, this is like we started very casually, Roman, I love him, and then we went into and that's my thesis about Succession and why I feel that
I still will grant the show's creators that this is literally the guys who head Fox News. I can't imagine seeing a lot of people of color in their life, and it would feel like very fake diversity for the sake of it, because the weird thing is, and this I thought nicely portrayed, that you get this high-powered lawyer who's a woman of color because you're trying to project this wokeness. But the second it becomes inconvenient to you, or this person starts talking back, hey, I've got new lawyers. right?
Yeah.
Because this is how these people live, right? Like in the sense that today you're telling me that rich people in India don't just hang out with people like them.
Yeah.
Like we're not anything the color, but like please, like let's be real and look at the last names and the religions and the castes and the this and the that and all of that. And if you wanted to portray a realistic picture of the life of a wealthy family in India, you really wouldn't have too much diversity in it either. Like,
Yeah.
No, fair enough. I just feel like, again, at some point it also becomes, see, I genuinely think that Shiv is, I don't know why, I just feel like, there was something they were going with Shiv between season 1 and season 2, and then it just seems like they've completely abandoned it. Now, maybe they're holding their cards close to their chest, and maybe in season 4, you're going to see a Shiv story arc that just makes sense in some way. But right now, I just felt it's pretty all over the place, where it came to, I don't think she had an arc. I think it was every episode where she almost had a story and it was then pulled back. She almost had a story and then pulled back. I don't know what they were leading towards. On the other hand, even Roman, which I still actually don't agree with, like in the end, he says fucking love. He chooses love. I don't get why out of all the people in this show.
I don't think he chooses it. I think that's
literally
like a Hail Mary. That's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, because he knows that's
options.
all he has.
Yeah.
So he's literally to the, like, you can, in fact, for me, the beauty of that scene is, like, I think when he says it also, he knows it's a bullshit argument. That if there's one thing that is not going to appeal
He's
to Logan.
broken after that. That's my point. He's actually broken when that does not work out.
Correct. And that moment also shows that Roman actually does love his daddy.
Exactly.
There was this moment when Jerry says to him, when he talks to the president a couple of episodes before this, and Jerry says to him, if there's any mini Logan around here, proxy Logan or something, she says, it's you. It's you. And then, you're friends with the president. And then every single time something happens to their father, if he's sick or if he has the UTI or whatever, Roman actually is shook up. You can see that it actually affects him. It does not affect Shiv the same way it affects Roman, and Kendall it doesn't seem to affect at all. I think he's just waiting for his father to die to let his true emotions then come out.
I think that's after after this finale finished, I went back and I started watching from season 1, episode 1. I 100% agree with you on the Roman thing, because there's one thing I'd forgotten about is when they send Greg back to the house to get the papers.
He gets the sweater. He gets something that smells like my dad.
Smells like, not a washed one, get a used one. I want something that smells like him. Is one scene that happens in the first, and also
in the hospital.
And even in the first episode, I think Kendall genuinely loves his dad. The conflict is they break in the first episode, because the thing, the one of the heartbreaking things in the first episode is Kendall comes to his dad's birthday lunch, and Logan sees that as a sign of weakness. That the test was that you should have stayed and completed the deal.
Yeah.
You're here, you're weak, maybe it shouldn't be. It's just another manipulation.
I have to add something to all of this, and like I'm giggling in the corner because of I don't know if you guys have heard of this. There's a guy who added lyrics to the Succession theme song. I don't know if you've seen it. Okay.
Really?
It is okay. So okay. Just give me a second. Okay. I have to tell you this. Okay. So there's a guy. I'll send the link. I'll put it in the chat also. So basically, firstly, Succession theme song is one of the most such a good theme song.
It's
brilliant. He did, so he did lyrics, right?
It's the Mad Men theme song of the 2020s.
So it's so bizarre, but his two lyrics have encapsulated our entire conversation for the past 40 minutes, okay? So literally the lyrics are, all the rich white folks are going to argue, and whoever wins is going to get a kiss from daddy. That's it. That's it. And that is Succession. Rich white folks arguing, whoever wins will finally get a kiss from daddy. That's the entire Succession.
There's an actual official remix song with a hip hop artist. I don't know if this is the same one.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be an official Succession.
This is a joke one, and I remember there was an interview where someone was interviewing Brian Cox and they showed him this. And it was like Brian Cox never got out of character. He was so thoroughly unimpressed, just sitting there gruff going.
I can see that.
I can 100% see
Before we continue, just real quick super chats. Welcome back to this. We'll come back to this episode later after I finish Succession. Love you guys. Also, Uncle is here. #Hawkeye. Okay, Sudeep and squad. Vedant said, don't know it was the finale. Joshi best uncle. Okay. Indranil Sakil just gave a super chat. And last but not the least, Vishal has said, talk about other classics. Yes, we will eventually talk about other classics. And everybody else who is watching, please, this is an announcement. Sorry, conversation was going very well, so I didn't want to interrupt. But Please press the like button if you're enjoying the stream. The more you press the like button, more people get to watch the stream. More people that get to watch the stream, more people will get a kiss from daddy. That's how it is. Okay.
Imagine that like button to be cocaine and your hand to be Kendall's nose. All right, and smash it.
If you don't, I swear to God, I will get him to perform L to the OG. Okay, I will get him to perform L to the OG and make sure that you guys listen to it.
One of the great tragedies of this life is that we will never get to see Kendall's full rendition of the musical you were going to do at his birthday.
Yeah.
That's one of the great tragedies of this world.
With the entire trapeze act and then the flying through and all of that.
It's just sad.
But that is such a great insight into Kendall as a person. That episode is a profile piece on the character, on what the character really.
The entire episode is literally a walk through Kendall's brain.
Brain.
It's literally a walk through Kendall's brain. It's
who
beautiful.
He thinks he is versus who he actually is. What he thinks he's capable of versus what he actually has the guts to pull off. What his kids mean to him, what his family means to him, what his siblings mean to him, his childhood issues, his mother's vagina, his current relationship with his girlfriend, rich people. That episode is a profile piece into Kendall.
It is.
I was going to say Kendall Jenner, Kendall Roy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that is the first thought that comes. But like, it's very, very fast. That entire episode, everything about it.
Such a great episode with the tree.
What was that line? Let's go nut.
Yeah, that's
go nut.
I cannot like.
You can't go in my tree house.
Yeah.
This is for cool people, and you are not cool.
It was so childish.
And Roman's entire expression in that whole thing is like, wait, are you really not going to allow me inside? And he's just, the guy's like, you don't have the badge. And he's like, I'm Roman Roy. And he's like, no, don't allow them inside.
You also see Siobhan dancing in that episode. You see her unwind for the first time. One of the most incredible things about the actor who plays Siobhan is that she always stands like this. There's a way that she's always standing. It's always chest out, like puffing, making her presence felt. She's a tall woman, she's a big woman, she's got that big, lovely, fiery hair, and she's gorgeous and stunning, but she also knows that she needs to make her presence felt because she's a woman. Yeah. We were just talking a few minutes ago, Roman also said this.
Yeah, he's always very open and chill. Yeah.
He doesn't care because he knows that he's going to be looked at and he's going to be heard regardless of however the way he presents himself. Maybe he's conscious about his height because he's shorter than most. He's like 5'5", whatever. We don't address that. But every time Shiv, regardless of whether she's with Tom or she's alone in her bedroom or reading on her phone or she's in a business meeting, she's always like this, butt out, chest out, standing as tall as possible. So when you see her dance, when you see her bang her head and like take her shoes off, it's just like, there she is. That's the girl. That's the tortured girl who just needed some love.
Do you know what I love about this discussion and even the show in general is that we have spoken about, like, it's been 40 minutes, we have gone deep dives about every single character from Logan to Marsha's son, but we have ignored Connor Roy.
Hey, don't mock the next president of the United States like that, right? Do not.
He is so ignored.
Never. He has again one of my favorite lines of the season, because one of my favorite things that they do, like as dialogue writers in this show, is they have this ability to make these guys say the simplest sentences in the most pretentious ways, and it's beautiful, right? Like even in that entire conversation that happens between Tom and Greg about Nero and Sporus, it starts with Tom saying, "Have you heard the story of Nero and Sporus?" And Greg can just say, "No, I don't know," but he says, "I'm not familiar with that IP." His exact response, it's a throwaway line. He said, "I'm not familiar with that IP." In that same way, Connor, in that second episode, when they're talking about signing, Connor says, "My signature is valuable real estate." And I was like, you fucking pufferfish of a human being. Like, you utter shit goblin. Like, what is wrong with you? Connor's hilarious. Like, the entire finale, I am the oldest child rant.
I love him.
Yeah.
King of beauty.
Great. What a great presence he has And you know that what's incredible about the finale is that they've taken it away from New York City for the first time for such a long period of time. Of course, we went to Europe for Shiv's wedding as well, but this finale plays out over multiple episodes in a setting that is not New York City, and the whole show is about New York City. It's about their life. So all of these people are out of their comfort zone. They're out of their zone. They're out of their, what makes them tick, as opposed to Connor Roy, because he doesn't live in the city. He lives outside of the city. He's not a part of this corporate bullshit. He lives in an wide open space like this. And in these last 2 episodes, I think he really blooms. He flourishes. He has this confidence.
But remember, Sucharita, he couldn't sleep because of the AC. Right? He couldn't sleep because of the AC. The AC wasn't right. And that's all it was.
His character is fascinating because his is the total, complete, non-corporate character who's happy in his bubble, right? Who has his own little journey. And like when she finally says, yes, the bubble is done. That's it. He doesn't worry about it. He's like,
Also, just that definition of romance, where her entire acceptance is, fuck it, how bad can it be?
Yeah.
Right?
And then she's just getting drunk.
And then she's getting drunk. And then 5 minutes later, you have the single most genuine proposal and acceptance ever in the show between Tom and Greg, which really plays out. You go back and watch that scene. It's a combination of proposal scene and also it's actually just Tom's inner monologue. Like Greg is just a mirror. It's Tom talking to himself. Do you want to make a deal with the devil? What good is the soul anyway? Fuck it, let's do it. It's actually just Tom talking to himself. Greg is literally just and then there's this moment where he's like, I'll do it. And that's the closest. Like if they,
Tom is literally the one character who in season 1 was like, you know what, fuck this guy, fuck him, what a scumbag, what an utter scumbag. Why is he being such a dick and why is he acting so and then the way they this transformation has you feel every episode I'm feeling bad for him. I'm feeling so bad. Even stupid shit happens to him also. Even when that dumb shit happened at the party also, I'm like, why? Why is he so sad a person, dude? Why is everything... it's just such a... His and Greg... Beautiful. Someone has been talking, right, about lines and all, best lines in the show, and there are some fucking phenomenal lines, but for me, I want to meet the person who said that you can't make a Tomlet without breaking some Gregs. That, for me, is the pinnacle of wordplay.
If those writers did not stand up and high-five each other in the writing room after then joy is dead and life means nothing. Then that is just a fact.
It's like they wrote the show for that joke, I feel like they wrote it for that joke.
This is the hilarity. This is another thing that I love. This is why I say this show is a comedy, right? Because the only 2 truly romantic relationships, weirdly enough, that we have seen work are Greg and Tom, and weirdly enough, Con and Willa. For all the starting of the relationship, it's the only consistent one where the 2 people actually, in their own bizarre way, seem to care about each other's feelings. He confesses to her, I love you and you're going to leave me. And that actually hurts her enough she is going to leave him, but she stays. And it's hilarious that those 2 are the only meaningful romantic relationships on the show.
Yeah.
But I feel
Sorry.
No,
I was just going to talk a little bit more about Tom and
Please.
Greg in the last episode. Last 2 episodes, in fact. When Tom's... Obviously, you see both of them have loosened up since they've realized that they're not going to go to jail.
Yeah.
So they not only have they realized that they're not going to prison, but they're also now not in the city anymore. So they are around more people, in a group of people who are wedding guests who are not the Roy family, and they are feeling a little bit more relaxed. There's alcohol, there's nice clothes, so there's a lot more quips, there's a lot more banter going on, and banter now this time is 2-sided because Greg suddenly has this confidence because Comfrey has said yes to him and he's not going to prison, and he's suing Greenpeace. So there's these wonderful lines.
It's not confidence, it's a Contessa.
He's also flirting with Contessa. And, the thirsty man becomes a mineral water critic. And then great line. He says, "You are one plane crash away from becoming Europe's weirdest king."
That was very funny.
What a great line.
Followed by the even better, don't let Roman marry her, he'll invade France.
He'll invade France. It's great. You're one, what happens in the end is a proposal. He proposes
It's
to
a-
him.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
100%
Out
of
and out, it is
the
a
faces of
proposal.
the scene. And you know who spoiled? Like, obviously, at this point, we're having a spoiler discussion.
Yeah, guys, everyone who's watching, I mean, this is obviously a spoiler wala discussion. I think it's a little
Yeah.
late for us to
Oh,
announce,
like-
but
45 minutes into it, by the way.
तो इसका ना थंबनेल चेंज कर देना बाद में
हाँ, बाद में बता दूंगा।
स्पॉइलर लिख देना
हाँ,
बड़ा who called Logan and told them that they were coming? It's Tom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tom called him. You know who spoiled that for me? On Twitter, Kathy Yan, who is one of the directors of the series. Kathy Yan is a fantastic female filmmaker. She made Harley Quinn. The
Oh,
movie.
really?
Yeah,
Nice.
Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
He's
and
done
Okay.
it,
Yeah.
Emancipation of
Birds
Harley
of
Quinn.
Prey and the fantabulous emancipation
Emancipation
of one
of
Harley
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn.
What, did she share the poster?
No. So she made that film, and before that, she made Dead Pigs, with great film. Anyway, so Kathy Ann is incredible. She's one of the directors of this
Third or fourth episode. Yeah.
series as well. She wrote Tom ? At that moment, I didn't know what it was about, but I knew it was about the finale. And then when that final act begins, when they're driving towards this, and Tom's trying to still figure out what are you going to do for me? Am I going to stay in? Am I going to stay? I was like, oh shit, Tom's called him. Kathy Ann, why did you do this?
So like fans were apparently like the season 3 official poster. What they did is there is that poster where all of them are walking in the hallway, right? So they've done an edit and adapt of that where on one side is Kendall, Roman and Shiv, and on the other side is Logan, Tom and Greg.
That's
and
not the adapt.
That's
They
not the
said
edit.
actually
They did
released it.
different versions of all the
They
posters.
released
They
four
had
different
4
posters.
different posters were there. Yeah.
Wow.
So you
That's
couldn't tell
actually-
who would be on whose side.
Sorry,
Yeah, so it's
Brit, we
released
changed to
four
this thing.
This is the other amazing thing about this show, right? It doesn't have one gun in it. It doesn't have one explosion in it. It doesn't have one science fiction or supernatural element in it. And yet somehow, week after week, you're sitting down and going, I have a theory. I have a theory, guys. Which is not usually a thing you think for like straightforward dramas. Where you go, I have a theory
Yeah.
about this show. And that's fucking delightful.
Viraj Pradhan, I don't know if you all know him, but he said a really interesting thing about the show. He said that, this is the show where like nobody dies, but everyone gets murdered.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah.
perfect.
That's accurate. That's dead.
That's so accurate.
Another person on Reddit pointed out something very astute as well. Where about with regards to the last episode, he's like, only Succession could make a sunset drive in Tuscany the most depressing thing in the world. Only Succession could make sunset under the Tuscan sun the most depressing thing in the world.
But
It's a-
can you imagine how they've done it? I mean, I think the last episode reminded me a lot of Social Network, right? Because it just played. It's a drama about people. There is, as you said, no guns, no warfare happening, but it's playing like a thriller. It's like I want to know what's going to happen next. I'm literally moving in my seat. I'm just like, wait, I wanted to slow down. I wanted to go faster. I wanted to see what happens. Who goes all guns blazing, and then of course they turn into fucking sausages, as
Of
Logan
course.
says.
Dude,
And it's so interesting. Sorry, go on.
No, go.
No, I was also, one of the things that I also really love about the show, and sometimes, and I have this with a lot of other stuff that I watched. Do they set up? Sometimes it's just this great line that comes. And then you're like, were they setting up the scene for this line to be said, or did this line just happen organically after the scene was set, right? So when Shiv says, "We walked into mom and dad fucking us,"
That
I was
was
like,
Yeah.
great line.
I stood up and clapped. I was like, this line.
Yes.
I mean, were they thinking of this line first and then they decided that we should have like the motherfucker fuck everything up? Or was this like, okay, this is the obvious joke? Because what a line and what a moment it
It
comes.
was beautiful.
Yes.
It was beautiful. The
Yes.
last 20 minutes of that episode are just at some Godfather level gut-wrenching shit.
Like
Like Shiv is actually crying by the end of it.
Yeah,
Like
she's
there's
properly
tears
crying.
rolling down her face. Roman sat down on the floor.
It's literally the same scene that
It's a
happened
bloodbath.
outside in the dirt, but
Yeah.
this time Roman is sitting,
That
Kendall's
scene.
got his arms on top of him, and Siobhan is in pretty much the same place she was.
Let's talk
in
about that
scene.
scene in the dirt.
That
Let's talk about that
scene,
scene in the
that
dirt.
scene.
There's multiple reasons why that scene is iconic. Number one reason, obviously, is the conflict
Of course.
of Kendall Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think that he's actually going to fall apart in that moment, but he does. So that
He
catches you by
completely
surprise.
collapses, yeah.
Complete surprise that he is actually going to be like, I'm not here, and then he's going to
Yeah.
confess to the death that happened. Number two, it's shot like a western.
Yeah. It's that beautiful wide frame. That dirt.
With
Also,
the dirt.
they've come out of that beautiful villa right now. They're not in
There's
there.
Next to
actual
trash
garbage
cans. Yeah.
There's actual
Yeah.
garbage
People
cans. They're
are
out in the
taking out
dirt.
the trash.
And it's peak sun. There's no
Yeah.
shade. There's nothing.
So
It's
people
peak
are
sun.
walking with these black garbage bags. There's trash cans
Yeah.
on either side. There's no fancy cars visible.
Nothing.
All that is visible in the background is like if this is the frame, all that is visible in the background
Yeah.
is one straight line of the building behind
That's
them.
it.
It's framed like that, so it's given it depth, that frame. But like it's like a western. It's
And the
in
other
a land.
beautiful thing about that framing is it's also three roads meeting.
Yeah, correct.
It's literally
Correct.
an
It's
I
intersection of
have
three
not
roads.
seen
Correct.
any of this. Like as someone who just saw the episode and was very focused on just the mental health aspect of it all, and like, oh fuck, so deep. When y'all are telling me all this, now my mind is literally blasting.
No, that shot is like it's up there in
That
the
shot,
in the
yeah,
cinema.
I couldn't-
You put
I
some-
couldn't
you
take
put
my
some-
off of it, yeah.
You put some spaghetti western music to that shot, and it's gonna cowboy boots. It's shot like that with the dust rolling. At one moment, Shiv actually holds her hat from blowing away and you feel that dry, hot wind in her face. You feel it in her
And
face.
what the beautiful
Kendall is
decision is,
sitting-
you can see the dirt on his pants.
On his pants,
Yes,
he's
yes.
sitting. There's dirt on his pants. He's literally down in the dirt as worse as it can get. There's snot on his face. It's such a great unraveling of all these three characters when they Kendall in a
And-
more obvious fashion, and these two more.
No,
subtle.
also just the idea that given they all three of them objectively have done horrible things to each other, right? So it's why when you say I don't see the humanity in this thing in Shiv, for me, the part where I ached for Shiv this season was, man, in that episode 2, this thing, he had no business playing that Nirvana song when she was on stage, all right?
Hilarious.
Like you see her die inside. Like you see her, and for her, that's like, dude, being humiliated in front of these people, right? Like literally, and for what? For like a childish power play on his part, right? Because at the end of the day, they fight like siblings, right? These guys, they fight like siblings. Like whatever else, this thing, but when push comes to shove and one is on the floor crying, suddenly in their own horrible way, everything is forgotten.
Yeah, I mean they're there for each other like siblings also. Like it, it's so subtle, but like that one shot where she's on her phone, but she's just gently doing this. It's like you could see those split priorities, right? Where she like, yeah, I know you're fucked also, but I'm also fucked. But that it's not even like a pat. It's just such a gentle rub of like just there.
For me,
I'm
Roman
there.
in that scene, yeah. Roman,
Oh,
the
dude.
way that I think that's where Roman became human for me. Like the fact that he sees that his older brother is going through some really complicated shit. He does not know what to say. He doesn't have the right words.
I can't
He
believe
jokes.
I can't believe they pulled off, but I had to wait 45 minutes for a gin and tonic. So who's the real victim here? And the beauty of that moment is there's this point at which Kendall laughs. And for half a second,
Dude.
Roman gets a genuine smile on his
man.
face. For half a second,
Yeah.
Roman gets his genuine. And again, it's just, my brother laughed at my joke. Like, I made him okay. And it's there for half. Because the beautiful thing
love
about
that.
Roman is, he can't confess to any kind of sincerity without immediately pulling back on it, right?
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism, right?
Like,
that
even in
humor
that cab
wall.
scene, when he's like, I believe that we could puke, make a good team. He
Yeah.
can't even say that without physically putting the word puke in there, right? And that scene is...
That scene really has catapulted Kieran Culkin into
Super
actual like
all
good,
the awards,
like,
please. All the awards,
like this
please.
is the actor. This is it.
Yeah,
this is
I mean,
Kieran
even-
Culkin's time.
Even when they're walking away, and and Shiv has patted
Yeah.
Kendall's head, and then Roman's
He
like,
keeps-
I also
yeah.
He doesn't know what to do.
Like an alien. He's like an alien.
Yeah.
For the first time.
I just want him to know that I'm here for him.
But they also know that each other is all they have, because if their father decides, then none of, and that is also the tragedy of Logan Roy, that he produced 4 children, none of whom have individually the acumen to run this business. None of whom, because all of them were born with silver spoons. They never really had to figure out how business works and develops. So they all individually might have good ideas to do their things, but none of them is individually good enough for Logan Roy to be like, this is my successor, and hence the name Succession. So in these last 2 episodes, they really also go to town on the fact that these 3 are gradually but very firmly realizing कि हम ही हैं, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं होना भैया, आप संभालो मेरे को, मैं संभालूंगी आपको, कुछ नहीं होगा इसके आगे.
And what was great about the finale episode is after that entire scene in the dirt, it really feels like Kendall has dealt with some shit now.
Yeah.
Like, because weirdly enough, in that final scene, he is the only one who's unfazed.
Yeah, he's not affected.
Yeah,
he's
already
been through his
motivated
journey,
from
right?
the start, right? Like where he faces that
He's
security
won.
officer, he's not now suddenly scared of him. When Roman looks at him, he's resolute in the fact that don't trust this guy. Like, and even with everything like Logan is doing, screaming at them, whatever, Kendall is just like, dude.
Yeah, because he's also, let's not forget, he's also just come back from the hospital after nearly dying.
Yeah. So
he's had that experience.
Right? It's an actual rebirth.
It's an actual rebirth. He's come back.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because that episode begins and you don't know that in the previous episode he almost drowned. That previous episode ends where the beer bottle floats away, and I'm like, okay, whatever. He's
but I mean the bubbles and all.
But then the next episode begins and Logan is reading a fairy tale
about
to
the
his
guy.
grandson, and I'm like, wait, why is suddenly Logan interested in his grandkids? Why is he reading a story to his grandson? And in that moment, Logan's also realized that my grandchildren are also useless. My children are so useless. My grandson also, I will never be able to give this empire to. What have I done? And then he gets up. He gets a call, or he goes to Jerry or whatever. And he gets up, and as he's walking out, he says, "Now be careful, children."
Yeah.
Watch wait, these are preteens. These are like 12, 13-year-olds. They can be careful around a swimming pool. Why is he asking? And then a few moments later, you realize, because Kendall nearly drowned in this very pool or another pool.
Also, again, how absolutely bizarre, right? Like, this, weirdly enough, was what felt like the first piece of humanity from Logan Roy.
Leading to his grandson.
Leading to his grandson. And no, not
but
and that's the point where he said, your dad's okay.
Yeah.
Right? He's fine. And it's twice as twisted because just the episode before that is that scene where he makes Iverson eat that food. What was that scene? Like, we've not talked about that, but what was that? That entire scene, my jaw was just like, what is wrong with these people?
No, but he would have stopped. He would have stopped him. If Kendall would have said, no, don't, then immediately.
Yeah, of course. But just the fact that it went there, that the fact that basically this kid became this Russian roulette chip.
But also, that's also like, I think Logan knows that probably Kendall has not poisoned my food, but I'm just gonna do this little power play here. And
It's always always one up play.
I know there's no poison in this, but if there were, I would feed it to your progeny.
Dude, if I ever, I want to, I know, like I said earlier also, like, Brian Cox is extremely, like, grumpy in real life also, but, like, I just want to meet him, because I was telling Rohan today also, I'm mesmerized by that dude, man. 75, and he is killing it in every scene, even when he is doing
Dude, that Shiv impersonation was amazing. That Shiv impersonation was so good.
It was so cruel, cruel, man. My poor Shiv, because that's her thing. Like her father, like her father's love, like Pinky, that whole thing. And that's it. That would shatter her.
No, but one of the things that I just find so remarkable about this show is that, how they have these scenes, the 2 scenes we've discussed, they were in the middle of the episodes. In any show, they are the height of the episode. They are at the end of the episode, and the series ends, scene ends, episode ends.
Yeah, you're right.
These are the height. You can't go better than Kendall and Logan talking, and Logan saying things like, life is a number on a piece of paper.
It's a fight for a knife in the mud.
Fight for a knife in the mud. I mean, those lines, I get up sometimes late in the night and I'm just are thinking in my head, and to have that scene and then to have in the final episode.
I'm just imagining Nikhil thinking about
Yeah.
that line and then simultaneously telling children, it's gonna be okay. You guys of this country, life is good.
I almost, I almost converted after hearing that. I mean, the way he delivers it. I know something about the world. I've been here because I know. And I mean, again, and while you're saying Sahil, he's grumpy. He's this kind of person who he has some wicked sense of humor. Apparently, but he's written a autobiography where he's just gone all out and just made fun of every actor what they saw. He's called great legends and saying he's an idiot and he doesn't know, he's too serious. In that profile also, he was just like, I'm worried about him. He's just going to.
Oh yeah, hey, but they did Jeremy Strong dirty, yeah. They did Jeremy Strong very dirty.
But that's fine. I
Dirty
mean,
with that profile.
everyone else came out to support him. I mean, that's how. I mean, so many people get into their zones. It's fine. Like it's if you have.
But
to
I
get,
actually don't
It
think
doesn't fucking matter. The
Yeah.
profile piece on Jeremy
Yeah.
Strong
Yeah.
is only in his favor. It is only ever going
No,
to
also,
be
Actually,
there was a great
and
tweet.
if he's branding himself as this guy who goes full method, then that profile is exactly how he's branding himself.
Correct.
That's how he's presenting himself to the world, and that's how the world is going to see him. So for this like rich, wild male, white male celebrity, everybody jumping in to like protect him and things, like calm down, relax.
No, but there was also
कुछ
a very
नहीं हो रहा
good-
उसको Chris
No,
Pratt
but
को
there
कुछ
was-
नहीं हुआ था ना.
There was also a very good tweet that says, you know what's remarkable about Jeremy Strong's process? Jeremy Strong's results.
and I read somewhere again that he's actually given this profile as Kendall Roy.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what
You
I'm
know-
saying, na Nikhil. That's how he's projecting himself to the world. That's how the world is seeing him. अगर तुम Kendall Roy बन के इंटरव्यू दोगे तो तुम्हारा परसेप्शन Kendall Roy का ही बनेगा ना. तुम मत दो Kendall Roy, तुम बन जाओ Tom Hanks. नहीं बन रहे तुम. तो तुम्हारी मर्जी है वो. Oh, everybody's this Jeremy Strong. Jeremy Strong is going to be okay. Jeremy Strong's career has taken off onto another stratosphere now. Nothing's going to happen to Jeremy Strong. Calm down.
And I feel like I
But if
also
it does,
feel,
I'd be sad. I'd be sad and I'd defend him because the Ken doll is precious.
But I actually found him endearing after this, because you think about it, the only time your co-workers are comfortable in talking shit about you is when they know that you're not going to mind. The reason that you have Roman making all those jokes, Roman, I'm calling him, Kieran Culkin, making those jokes about Jeremy Strong in that piece saying that, he played it like this and I thought that he's doing this. It just goes on to show that they have a comfortable enough relationship for him to say all of these things and know that he's not going to mind. So I think this profile actually made him more endearing for me than anything
And
else.
who gives a shit if Jeremy Strong minds what Kieran Culkin is saying about? Like, why should anyone be concerned with that? How does it matter to anybody? They are so
Because
rich.
they're family.
They're
We
so
went
rich.
into the wrong show right now. We went into the wrong
Family.
territory.
Because they're family.
इतना पैसा तुम मानते रहो बुरा क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए like how everybody nobody is going to stand up in defense of what's her name Miss Marvel yaar
Oh, Brie Larson.
when Brie Larson says that there are mostly people who are writing film reviews are a certain kind of American straight white man and we need more female film critics, and just because she says we need more female and more inclusive film critics to write about our films, the whole entire goddamn movie gets downvoted on Rotten Tomatoes to such an extent that it became a whole thing that people pre-release people of the internet have gone Rotten Tomatoes already rotten. Not one person from the Marvel universe, not one of the big actors has stood up and said that she is right, you fuckers. She's new to the Marvel universe. She's an Oscar-winning actor. She's a woman, and her opinion is absolute. As opposed to which is the dumbest Chris out of all the Chris's, one Twitter poll, and fucking Robert Downey Jr. and like Mark Ruffalo and I'm like, क्या सीन है? तो यही है यहाँ पे, मतलब जेरेमी स्ट्रॉन्ग के बारे में अच्छी प्रोफाइल है वो, उसको फायदा ही करेगी वो प्रोफाइल, कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा.
and to think about it, he managed to get Robert Downey Jr. to just like to give a call. Like he's got Iron Man to give quotes about him. You know, I mean, I don't feel bad for him at all after that. Like he has access.
There's no pity party.
I feel like every single actor on the show is now like on that nice little high graph of like, I mean, some of them didn't need to be, some of them are already killing it and now are killing it. Like for me, someone like you said, like Kieran Culkin is someone I never ever knew existed. I didn't know he existed. I knew Macaulay, that's it. And I saw first season and I'm like, oh fuck, it's same Home Alone guy. And then the more I started watching the show, the more I'm like, dude, how have I not seen more of this guy?
So I'd seen him in this movie, I think called Igby Goes Down.
Yeah, that was
Which
his
was
first
really
big,
good. Yeah, which was really good. And he was really good in it. Again, he basically played young Roman Roy only.
Achha.
Like, he played young Roman Roy.
That's his
basically.
character.
Like, even younger Roman Roy, basically. Roman Roy, the early years.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But then that's the thing about him also that I've read, that he is also a bit of Roman Roy in real life. He can be a bully, but he also has been bullied a lot in his whole life. I mean, he's not an evil person like Roman Roy is, but he's like a lot of the characteristics of this person are from Kieran Culkin himself, the way he, carries himself around people.
What casting, can you imagine? And
he had actually, I believe he had actually auditioned for Kendall.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I mean, like in the second last episode with the inappropriate picture being sent.
What a great sequence.
The expressions on it, I have not, how difficult it is to show embarrassment.
Yeah.
As in acting, I mean, out of most of the things that's difficult to show as acting, embarrassment is one of those emotions that's not easy. And I mean, I keep reading that, I'm not an actor, but to have him show embarrassment in those shades, in that many different colors, shades, expressions.
Without saying a
word. I had to pause. I think I laughed for 2.5 minutes straight with every expression that he changed. And I was like, this is the funniest. I was like, how can anyone call this a drama when this scene exists? This scene makes it, I mean, I wrote that, every actor in that show deserves an Emmy, but like Kieran Culkin deserves an Oscar for this one scene.
Kieran's winning everything.
Everything.
Next season, it's all him.
All him.
It's all him. No one else. Not Sarah Snook, not Kendall, Jeremy Strong. I think it's all going to.
Matthew McFadden, I thought, came really close.
He was a little bit robbed. He's not even been nominated, which is a little sucky, but it's okay.
So yeah, man, that's, I mean, like, I started, like, I never answered the question 1 hour later I'm answering, but Succession I started 2 months ago. I was like, dekh lete hai, kya hai hype. Then season 1 I started watching, I'm like, okay, not bad. And it's the same thing, right? Season 1, I was really rooting for Kendall. I was like, man, fuck yeah, I like this drama. Oh, he's going to oust his father. Oh my god. Traffic jam matter gaya. That's kya.
That's the moment that show became iconic.
Yeah, I'm like, and I felt the stress. I'm like, know when you've been late for a meeting and you're like desperately, I'm there, I'm running, just give me 2 minutes, I'm coming, please, don't start without me. And the stress of him just utterly running, and I'm like, man, okay, nice, I see where they are going. And then with whatever happened at Shiv's wedding, I kind of didn't like it. I didn't like it that happened, and you had that loop, like that thing dangling over him, because I personally preferred him as a strong character, like as the I'm gonna fuck my dad over type character. But the way his character has changed, the way everyone's character has changed, I'm like, this show, man, I don't know what the next season could be.
The real payoff of that entire thing was when fucking Logan takes him back to those people's house. Like, of all the power moves you can play on your son, is he takes him there and then just leaves him in the living room like a dog while he goes and talks to the family. And there's that great scene I remember where he has a glass of water and then he even washes the glass and puts it away in a way where it's almost like, I want no
evidence
trace of not that there's no trace that I was ever here only. Like, I just like no fiber of my being wants to be here. And he's so broken, and that's repeated again in this season when he finally reads the letter that Shiv has put out, that statement. And he's supposed to go on that comedy show, and he's just walking in that corridor And again, it's just this great piece of acting where he wilts. Because up until
That
then,
scene.
he's been pure confidence, right? He's been pure confidence up until that point. And then he just wilts.
Same thing happens to him at his birthday party. Confidence, boom. Just gone.
Like wilts.
Can't find my children's presents. That's it. Finished. Over. But that's the thing about Kendall Roy. Like, he is so fragile.
Yeah.
You meet his fragility over and over again. He's got good ideas.
Yeah.
He's got like to buy Gojo and to go digital and to like go into the future. These are all his ideas, and his father sees that. So his father has kept him around for so long, knowing that he has good ideas, but he just cannot lead a company because the first thing that rattles him will unravel him.
And
every small little
since you say unravel, I feel like it's also a very subtle portrayal of like manic depression.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, he's manic, right? Because he goes from euphoria of fucking we got this to, like you said,
to like snot running out of his
complete,
nose.
like straight snot running out of his nose. There's no middle.
Yeah.
Like for Kendall, right? He's either on the drugs and up there, or then just in the dirt, like that.
Yeah.
Like
My
that
father's plan was better. I hate Stewie so much. Like, I think Stewie might be the character I hate the most in this show.
But it's so well, like his entire, like it's like you see him only and you're like, I know what zone this is. That, you know, that cocky New Yorker that like, come on, like
I can
do whatever.
smell the investment bank. Like, I can smell it.
Yeah. Hate him.
So, yeah, man, I think that's, I think we've,
I'll just because you were talking about manic depression, I'll just talk about this one other thing that I read. This review of the show, which was just blew my mind. So, you know, there's a author called Emily Vander Beff who writes for Vox. She wrote this thing about how this entire show is about abuse. You know, and she said that there are 4 F's of trauma responses, and every Roy sibling showcases one of those responses.
That's awesome.
That's
very good.
That's incredible.
So I'll tell you, okay, right? So there are 4 of these F's. One is flight, then the second is fight, the third is freeze, and the fourth is fawn. And then, you know, she's related how every one of the siblings showcases that. Like Connor is always flight. He just runs away. He's like, I don't want to be part of this. Kendall, for whatever it's worth, fights. You know, he's always trying really, really hard. You know, and Shiv is fawning over the dad to make sure at some point she gets something, she doesn't get it. And then Roman just freezes, you know, he doesn't know, like, what do I do? This is the first time actually in the season finale where he does not freeze. Every time before that, he's tried to raise his hand and the father's just been like, keep it down. And he's like, yes, I'm on your side. So, I mean, like the way, when you think about all the way that they've really thought this through in terms of what toxicity is, what abuse is, and both their parents are so abusive, you know, that's the reason that we feel so bad for these people ultimately, that what you're seeing.
They never had a chance.
They
never had a chance.
No, they never had a chance. Also, it's one of those things where it's almost biblical in a way, right? Where it feels like the second any one of them develops, like you said, right? Now, no single one of them is competent enough to run that company. But the feeling is that if at any point any one of them did gain that competence, Logan Roy wouldn't see that as a proud achievement. They're competition now. Because that's just how petty he is. Or there's no winning. There's no winning in this scenario. None. Not even becoming the man that Logan wants you to. Because remember, that beautiful thing about the ending of that season 2 finale was that for a second, Logan looked proud. For a second, he smiled. But the fucking pushback was brutal. Like in that moment where Kendall finally became the killer like Logan always wanted him to, that wasn't a good thing. He immediately pushed back and like hard.
Full fucking beast.
Like full beast. He went full fucking beast, right? And then again, so sorry, because it's just that it's one of those shows. You said every time you mention something, it just takes me back to something else that's brilliant about this show. Like Roman, you mentioned, right? Like the freeze thing. There's another beautiful piece of little body language acting that he does when they're all getting into the cab to go see Dad. A, he gets in last, and B, even when she calls him, he like bodily turns away from the cab for a second. Like before going, almost like he's like, I can't! And then he sort of goes in.
There's a
Right.
lot of physical acting that gives away, like even in the okay, if you're talking about the finale, since obviously it's the freshest, when they're going to meet Gojo, when they're going to meet Matheson, right? You can see Logan and Matheson walking, and you can see like Roman try to come in the middle or try to like. There's one
Yeah.
where they're going up the steps and he's about to take a step when his dad crosses, so he just waits back. It's so subtle, but
He's walking back, he's one step back. They're talking, he's picked up a teacup and then he now doesn't know what to
He's
Yeah.
sitting alone and all.
Yeah.
and then he like finds a place to keep
It's
it.
just
And, like,
so subtle.
anytime, go back and watch this again. And this is something I've observed. 90% of the times when Roman sits in a chair, he does like something with his body. Either he'll sit with his feet up, or he'll slink right down, or he will like, I don't know, like adjust himself
can
in
never
some way
sit
or the
normally
other.
in a chair.
He just he's incapable of not fidgeting with his body. Maybe it's something with his size and stature, being short, being skinny, or like whatever. He's just so uncomfortable in his own body. He just never sits on a chair like a normal person should.
And
He
there's
just
also
doesn't
this,
do it.
There's this beautiful thing, what I like about, especially out of all of them, like Roman styling, like out of all of them, he's always in like the tightest, most perfect, like
Shorts and
distinct
pants.
clothes, because he's aesthetically perfect, but so broken on the inside, right? Like in terms of, he's like, if you objectively look at it, he's like a hot dude,
Yeah.
but just sexually incapable, right? Like
The thing
just
about-
entirely,
tightly wound.
completely so tightly wound.
Like what broke my heart, and it was such a small thing that when he asks him that, when Logan tells him that, or their lawyers say that he has to say nice things about his father on television, and he narrates this story, and then Logan asks him that whose story, when did that happen, and he's like, it wasn't with you, it was with Connor. So he actually doesn't even an actual moment where his father was probably nice to him, or for that matter to
Any of them.
Anytime Connor recounts a childhood story of how he substituted and took them out for picnics and shit, it just breaks my heart, and it's happened
fully.
multiple times. But speaking of Roman not being able to perform sexually, neither of them can. All three of them.
So there was something.
All
that's
three of
great.
them have sexual problems along the way, and we're told that they're having.
In fact,
Logan is not having sexual problems. He's
No,
having
none.
this
No.
new woman also
He's
now.
having matha roots.
But
He's
his
having matha roots smoothies.
three children, Connor is finally he's given up on dating girls the regular way, so he's found someone who's from an escort service, and then they've fallen in love or whatever. But like these three, she can't have sex with her husband because she just like physically is incapable of liking him. And the boys as well, both of them.
And the amazing thing is actually not just sex. In everything, like the great thing about that show is you never actually see them enjoying any of life's pleasures for all their wealth. Whenever you see them at a restaurant, they're picking at their food. They never eat it.
Yeah.
They never eat it. Like the best meals, the best this thing, you will never see like a Roy on that show just heartily tucking into. The only person that enjoys doing any of those things still is Greg.
Yeah, but Greg
He's
also
not
has
there
a
yet.
dissonance to
Not
it.
there yet, because he's not there yet. And that's one of those absurd where the idea is almost that these guys are so removed from all the basic joys of humanity. Like, so
No
far
sex.
removed.
We don't see
Nothing.
them have sex. We don't even see
No
them
sex, no food,
kiss anybody. There's no
nothing.
like kissing even.
It's like the weirdest HBO show. Like, it's just like,
No
really,
nudity.
this show is on HBO? That's
no
crazy.
nangapan at all.
Yeah.
Well, I like Greg. I like Greg is also the guy who you can see showing subtle hints of this, where you can see his transition from outsider
He's
to
coming of age.
Yeah.
outsider to finally
He wanted
becoming
this.
this, like, I'm not going to seek the pleasures, or even if I do get the pleasures, I know there is always something better. There is always something nicer. There is always something bigger. This is what I want from life. That entire Duchess, the entire conversation.
And the only one who seems to want these things, these joys, actually is Tom. Who's not part of this family, and so he has that in him where he's just like, he wants. I mean,
He's the only one who cares about Mondale. He's the only one who cares about Mondale. There's that great scene where he's like, I'm staying home because Mondale seems unsettled. Right? And Mondale is just a reflection of him again. He's basically the kutta of the family, right? Like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
and
but
Trophy husband Roman Roy
trophy
calls him at
husband.
one point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so interesting. Like, when I try to relate who these folks could be in the larger scheme of the world, Tom's always that, how in every rich setup, there are always these folks from outside who think that they have a chance, they have a shot at taking this. They don't have the capability of getting that money on their own, and in return for that, they are, as you said, they're the laptops of the family. They will do anything, and it's actually quite sad and tragic, that for power or for money or
You could
for
do
like
anything.
fame, you could do anything. And because you see the rest of the family, nobody in the family except for maybe Tom right now has any self-awareness about anything. When you think about it, I mean, Kendall has zero. Kendall reminds me of like a lot of film actors, like a lot of Bollywood heroes who have zero understanding of the world.
Names, give us names.
Who think that they
We'll
are
be here all night. We'll be here
Yeah,
all night.
Nikhil is like, I'll just WhatsApp this, guys. I don't think I want to get into controversy at the
Pick
moment.
any name.
I have had, I'm not going to tell you a name, but can I tell a very funny short story?
All of them. Huh.
Always.
And this is a true story. I once narrated a script to a actor's son for something that I was doing.
Of course.
And that actor's son was like, really, he's like, I love. It was about the film, but the show was about gender equality. At the end of it, he called me the next day, and he's like, I'm very insulted that. I mean, it was a great conversation. He was really smart, very woke. I was like, this is amazing. The next day he calls me and he's like, I'm really offended that you sent me that script, and I said, why are you, what are you offended about? He's like, there's a line in that and I don't know what implication you're trying to make at me. I was like, what line? So there was some random line in that. There was a really stupid joke about about the actor saying that, if his name is Jerry, it's Chota Jerry. Okay, Chota Jerry जो ना ऐसा नहीं चाहता, Chota Jerry कुछ और कर रहा है वगैरह वगैरह. Terrible line, but about referring to penis as Chota whatever, right? He's like, are you saying my dick is Chota? I didn't know it said that. He's like, but why would you send me a script with like my name on it and like put this line? Are you implying something? I was like, this is a real conversation. I thought
Are you implying something?
Yeah. Are you?
I feel like you are trying to tell me something, buddy.
Dude, I was like, is this a real conversation? And he's just like, he was like, I'm so offended. Please, he's like, don't ever like send me something like this. This is a terrible.
Dude,
It's gonna happen tomorrow, by the way.
At least this person read one layer. I once had to do an interview with an actor where I had to ask one of the generic questions. And the question I asked was, so do you see the glass as half empty or half full? And after 30 seconds of deafening silence, the reply I got was, which glass? There's no glass in front of me. And I don't know if that's the most profound thing I've heard in my life. So, please.
This is like that's something Greg would say.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what glass is.
I don't
I'm not
see
familiar with that idea.
I don't actually see.
Yeah.
There's not actually a glass like in front. Like if you mean like metaphor, like.
No comment.
I think that's a manufacturing issue, and I'm in parts.
If that is, oh my God, his testimony in front of the whole thing, and it's
the
just
funniest scenes.
so funny. Oh my
Fucking
goodness.
hilarious.
What a character.
Greg is also someone who has a bit of self-awareness, and Tom is the only one who has. The reason he chooses prison willingly is like, if I do this, I will earn the loyalty of Logan. And he knows, he's like, I'm okay with my I know what my position in this company is or isn't. I'm ready to do this, but not that. So, I mean, like, it's so
But
incredible.
he's also like, when he lashed out, there's a beautiful moment in the season 2 finale, right? He looks at Shiv and he's like, I'm not fucking hippie Shiv. Like, I don't want this open marriage shit. Like, that's not, I can't do it. And he's crying and he's so genuine in that moment. He's just like, look, whatever this fucking thing is that you're trying, it's not working, right? Like, you're unilaterally doing this and it's just not fucking working.
Greg to bechara comes in with a lot of self-awareness. He's only come in to ask for a job. He wants a job.
Yeah.
He's thrown into this family and then he realizes, wait, my family is rich and maybe there's more in it for me than just one. उसको नौकरी पे लगा देते वो निकल जाता बाहर. वो नहीं आता दोबारा तुम्हारी life में. But he immediately
you have to sue Greenpeace, right? It's a very important thing to sue Greenpeace.
Again, Tom says, who are you going to sue next? Save the children. I like your style.
I like your style. What dialogues, man! I don't think I don't remember the last time I've heard. And the reason I started watching Succession actually was that Jesse Armstrong was working on Veep earlier. So I was like, if Veep
So
is really
good.
funny, so this show will have. And I
it's
think that the common thing
This
is
is
insults.
finance Veep. This
Yeah, it is
is
finance Veep.
Yeah, this is finance with the same
This is
level of
finance
insult.
Veep. Yeah,
It's like, I remember when that scene, like literally that scene where he says, "Can I ride in the helicopter, Dad?" And he says, "Do you want to hold my dick?" Okay, it was one of the most randomest, unnecessary, and he keeps on doing these dick jokes with Roman. Okay, it is so unnecessary. But when I saw that, I told Meghna, I'm like, listen, you've not seen Veep, but you have to, because this genre of this wisecracking, completely shitting on people, but in a nicer way, it's Veep. Succession just gets very dark sometimes.
I mean, the insults on this show. I mean,
You're
funny.
one plane crash away from turning into
Yeah.
Europe's witness king. My God.
My personal favorite stupid one though, because they do stupid ones also really well, right? There's that great line where he's like, "Come on, let's go see Hans Christian and a fuck."
And a yeah.
Also, when Tom says to Greg, you don't have to pretend to like Hamilton here.
Yeah.
And then picking the next president. This is a
they
safe
do
space.
like Hamilton.
It's like, I like Hamilton. This is a safe space, Greg.
Dude, that like this there. I mean, fuck off for me became lingo, like, and not like normal fuck off, just the way that he says it, like it's such a weird catchphrase, but like
Have you
fuck
not
off.
watched Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Fuck off, Roy Kent saying another Roy, but like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good
It's a
theory.
Roy
That's a good
Roy
theory.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no.
Roy Kent saying fuck
off. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sideways, like his mouth going like fuck.
Yeah. But
That's when fuck off became a thing for me, not for Succession.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
no.
also Roy Kent is like super hot. So.
Another thing which
Side note.
which I love, and
Are you saying
I think-
Logan Roy is not? How dare
yeah, I
you?
mean, come on, man.
How dare you? I would totally have a little Mata Root smoothie baby.
Listen, of all the episodes where we've crushed on men, this is the one episode where I will say, Rohan, no.
You know-
No, Rohan, no.
100% Logan and Jerry had a thing, and
100%.
then Jerry
Oh,
got into the
100%.
system. Then Jerry got into the system, put him in his place. Logan realized that Jerry knows what she's talking about, so she stuck around for 30
But
years.
which is why he
Yeah.
also must have gotten upset with the entire dick pic incident. Now he like, she's a dinosaur, like.
Yeah,
I
like,
mean, I used to, yeah,
We
exactly.
used to fool around back in the day. Yeah.
one of the things that I was again hearing, so one of the executive producers of the show said this thing which I found so interesting, is that they asked him again, why do you think the humor of the show works so well? And he said that he's like, the way humor works or comedy works is that and the reason it works so well is that if this line was said by anybody else, it would not work as well as this person saying this line. And like, that's actual comedy. That you laugh so hard because you know that the lines that Roman says are the lines only Roman will say. The lines that Tom says are the lines only Tom will say. What
Yeah.
Logan Roy says, nobody else can say. Because when you think about it, Kendall has also tried to make insults, right? Like, he called Greg a human tapeworm.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, that's not funny. You're just like, and he's just like, I'm kidding. Am I kidding? I don't know. And then you're just like, it becomes like a really intense scene. You're just like, wait, why is he insulting so badly? On the other hand, Roman saying the same thing to a Greg is just like a really funny scene. So it's remarkable how every actor in this has lines that only that actor can say and nobody else.
Just great writing all around, man.
Man, this is like, I mean,
Yeah.
like this show, we'll never stop talking about it,
No,
because there
never,
is
never.
so much to pick, pull apart, talk about. Like, the chat has been going wild, the league has been going left, right and center, like throwing dialogues. Thank you, Vishwanath Nair, for all the dialogues, and they improvise the characters very well. That's what he's saying. Everyone is, huh?
No, I'm just telling everybody मेरे channel को subscribe कर लो. Simon.
अरे नहीं एक मिनट खत्म नहीं करो, 5-10 मिनट में खत्म
still
करेंगे.
there, still there.
एक मिनट हो रहा है ऐसा. I wouldn't end like, okay now bye. Fuck off.
Speaking of
Just
dialogues,
reading the
speaking of
messages, yeah.
dialogues, one other one that I just like to get out there is beautiful in season 1 or season 2, when Marsha looks at Siobhan and says he built you a playground and you thought it was a world.
Amazing.
What a great line where she just looks at her like, you guys have no idea what you're dealing with. Like,
Amazing.
literally वो garden बनाया तुम लोग के लिए, तुम लोग का दुनिया बनाया. तुम लोग क्या चूतिया है. What a great line.
मार्शा को भूल गए यार, लेकिन इस सीजन में
हाँ,
मुझे बड़ा
that's
बुरा
what we
लगा।
were discussing earlier ना कि like she conveniently
मेरे को
was
बहुत
like
बुरा लगा।
Tata bye bye, made her power figure and then Tata bye bye. Then got in random that who was that other chick, the one, that blonde chick in the
Raya.
middle,
Raya.
That also
Yeah, man, that was
also
Rava.
such a quick fizzle.
Who's Kendall's girlfriend? You know, in last season.
Naomi.
Naomi Pierce, no?
Yeah,
Naomi Pierce.
she had such a great role and such a great. I
Yeah.
mean, the scenes that they shared were just so beautiful. And in this season, she's just like, you know, a side character, you know. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, again, it comes back to sometimes just the choices that they're making. I feel like are these
Yeah,
choices that
that's a
they're
glaringly
making purpose?
terrible one. That I'd have to agree with you. That's been a weird one.
Such a good character in season 2. I mean, and I thought that what she added to Kendall's personality, you know, the way she complimented and made us realize that, you know, this kind of abuse and what Kendall's going through is valid. She validated it. She said, yes, you know, I mean, I get it. I know why you take drugs. I know why you take it. I know why you're so fucked up. All of us are. And then he got her. And in this season, we saw her only as like a, I don't know, emotional support animal for Kendall in one episode.
Yeah.
And then not there at all.
Yeah, but that's been the theme of this show with strong women as well. Maybe it's by design and maybe it's inadvertent because I don't know. But like anytime a strong woman enters, she exits the narrative very quickly. Whether it is Rhea from Pierce, whether it is the whole Pierce deal, because that's a matriarch. That family is run by a woman. And everybody follows her instructions. Then Naomi, then Kendall's lawyer, and Marsha, all the strong female characters which enter the narrative just poop, exit just as quickly, which is disappointing. I do not like that.
Which I was also really invested in Kendall. I mean, this is really random, but Kendall's secretary Jess, you know, when she all the expressions that she had.
She also gave such stunning expressions.
Time Kendall said something stupid, you show her in the background making like this face, like she was in on it. She knew like this guy's an idiot, but like this is my job. And I just missed her in the second half of the season. You know, I was like, why?
Even one of my favorite little touches is how Comfrey just always looks exhausted.
Yeah,
she just always looks like, man.
I mean, but it's
would
like
love to go take a nap right now.
If you were dealing with Kendall and as well as talking to Greg, anyone would have their soul sucked out of them. You know, it's like, where have I got myself stuck?
There's that great finale line she has also, no? Where after he leaves, she's like, the Vanity Fair thing, it's more us calling
like
them.
we've been choosing them. And like the first
us.
time you see the person behind the job and she's like, I have these He-Man lunch boxes in my apartment. And now I have to sell them and give receipts. So like Kendall is making her sell them and give receipts back that I've actually sold the things that you made me purchase. You see the person behind the job and you're like, fuck girl, just quit this job. Date Greg. Quit this job, get out. So
these people are actively terrible, you know, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, I think one of the reasons that I think people also enjoy this, and of course, I think it's taken a different role. I mean, it's taken a different reason once you start watching these episodes. But one of the reasons I think I also initially started enjoying this was the fact that, you know, you see all these really wealthy people, and when you see they have terrible lives, you're like, okay, you know, makes you feel.
You would assume, right? I mean, that is a very middle class thing. Amir hai, but I'm sure they would be unhappy. Money will never buy happiness. It's like the thing you're told time and again, you know, like when you tell your mama, oh no, you know, and she's like, they will never be happy. I'm telling you, they have money, but they will never be happy. And then Succession is proof. Dekhna, beta, they are not happy.
Objectively unhappy.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting.
I don't know, man. I mean, Succession is cool and all, but I'll be real. I know some really happy rich people, guys. I know some really happy rich people, and I disagree with this thesis that money can't buy happiness, because last I checked, money can buy a 70-inch TV, which means at least to some degree, money can buy some happiness.
I would like to experiment this thesis on myself and then provide my conclusions.
I don't mind if like I'm sure Sucharita, it's okay, right? Like we got a couple of more crores and then 1-2 family members ke saath, it's okay, no? Like we'll figure that life out also. Like
आ जाएंगी खुशियाँ, पैसे दे दो मुझे, मैं ले आऊँगी खुशियाँ.
Buy new family.
Or distract self with enough money, we can distract. Very valid points. I'm waiting for the Indian version, man. I'm telling you, it will be great if there is Indian.
But we already have an Indian version. It's called Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like with like Indian business family, like if you.
It's called the Raichans.
Yeah.
The Raichans.
And they solved it with love, Sahil. They solved it with love.
Shah
Their
Rukh Khan
guns did not turn to sausages because they're vegetarian, and that's the moral of the
Shakahari.
story. Yeah.
Their guns turn into
Imagine,
Karelas.
when you think about it,
No.
कह दिया ना, बस कह दिया is
Is a right choice.
It's just fuck
Logan
off.
Roy.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fuck off.
In Hindi.
Yeah,
Shah
of
Rukh
course,
Khan
yeah.
is Kendall Roy. He has abdicated the throne.
Wow.
Younger brother in some love has gone to find him. I mean, obviously, when the
Yeah.
conflicts are different, but that is it. They live in the same castle.
Correct.
Which जब हमने वो picture देखी थी, पता नहीं कैसे हजम हो गया था सबको.
Yeah.
But
And then there is Hrithik Roman. Hrithik Roman is in it.
There's Hrithik Roman.
Hrithik Roman is in it also. That is also there.
Like, who does he think he is? Right?
Yeah,
That's his whole
exactly.
thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like you only see the absurdity of these rich people when they are put in contrast with outsiders. When a Tom / Kajol comes in to their lives, you see how absurd their lives are, because this is what real people are like, trying to make their way in, and they will never be accepted because you're not of our status and stature. So we have an Indian
Succession is K3G confirmed.
Yeah.
It's a
100%.
running-
No,
running
Succession
this
is,
thing.
yeah. And it's accurate.
right
Because
now
we
I
couldn't
see-
figure out whether Succession was a drama or a comedy. So it's Kabhi Khushi.
Kabhi abhi tra-
There you go. It's essentially the same thing. Happiness or कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Yeah, anything. They also have helicopters. They also have very cool helicopters. They also
That's
land
right.
up in random places. Guess karo hum kahan hai?
Yeah.
It's Succession only, bro. It's full
It's
Succession.
it's like how easy it is for Shah Rukh Khan to just move abroad. Just
Yeah.
move abroad. He just moves and like he has this palatial house when
Yeah.
we meet him next with his wife and Sally also living in the same house.
This is the
Yeah.
ultimate fan theory that is now an official reality. We will
Karan
break the
Johar did it
internet
first.
with this confirmation. We
Yeah,
will
no, they
spread-
happen in the same shared universe, for sure.
Yeah, the K3G
For sure.
K3G cinematic universe, you know.
Yeah. The K3GCU.
100% if Amitabh Bachchan Raichand had managed to get Shah Rukh Khan Raichand married to that Rani Mukherjee character, Logan Roy would have flown to the wedding.
Yeah.
He would have been invited to
100%.
the wedding, like Hillary Clinton flew to the wedding of the Geos. So Logan Roy would have come to the wedding and he would have brought
The
like Roman.
Geos. Can that just be their official last name now, please?
The
Yeah.
I
Geos.
never want to call them anything else.
Yeah, the Geos is a great
The
name.
Geos is
The
great.
Geos. So yeah, so Roman भी ऐसे सड़ के आता पीछे, पर वो दोनों आते शादी में. 100% रायचंद की शादी में Logan Roy.
Guys,
Yeah.
done. I feel that's it. This is like, you can't get anything better than this. Like we have discussed for so
Yeah.
long, and we've eventually come back to K3G only. घूम फिर के घर पे ही आ गए.
देखो हाँ मतलब हाँ दुनिया देख के आए लेकिन एंड में आना पड़ा ना पिक्चर में.
It's nearly midnight, guys. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts or anything? Because I think we can wrap this beautiful conversation, because that's a fantastic ending.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel.
I mean, again, wait now.
This is true promotion.
I love it.
Every
I love it.
opportunity.
This is straight
Every
up like, wait for it. I will say it, and I will say it right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
reason I'm here.
Sucharita's every sentence is all bangers all the time.
Yeah, of
All
course.
bangers all the time.
Of course.
It's true.
To all the people who are watching, one last like daba do, please. Ek last like daba do for this fantastic 1.5 hours of conversation. And now it's time for announcement, starting with Sucharita.
Subscribe to my channel. It is a baby Tingu channel. There's not a whole lot of subscribers there.
Tag her.
But I am trying to do a lot of fun things on there. I'm trying to bring interviews with directors of series and movies that I've liked. I recently spoke to Abhishek Kapoor about Chandigarh Kare Aashki. Obviously everyone, you could talk to Ayushmann Khurrana and Vari Kapoor, but I wanted to talk to Abhishek Kapoor about the film. So I did that. And I did, I spoke with, if you've not watched Tabbar on Sony Live, it is the finest Hindi, not even Hindi, Punjabi. So Indian web series to come out in years.
Tabbar.
Tabbar.
Okay.
I would rate it beyond Scam 992, and I thought Scam 992 was very good, and it is still very, very good. Tabbar is just one step ahead beyond that. It's just an incredible show. Lots of anyway. So I've spoken to the director of the show on my channel as well. My point is that on my channel, I'm trying to like talk about things like Annette, which is on Mubi, which is a film that nobody knows about, and it is what's his face, yaar?
Leo Carax.
Leo Carax नहीं actor कौन है यार?
For what? For the movie Annette?
Man, I was trying to help you with directors, and now you're like, oh no, fuck you, tell me the actor. You know what? Fucking.
Fucking.
Wait, we can Google
Star
it.
I will Google
Wars.
it. I'll Google Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. Shit.
Adam G.
Adam Driver's name.
Annette, again, it's Adam Driver like you've never seen Adam Driver before. It's Marion
Amazing.
Cotillard like you've never seen. So anyway, so come to my channel where I talk about these things which I feel are important and interesting and we should talk about as well.
Please do.
So,
I've put the link in the chat and also my mods will also drop it. So please subscribe to Sucharita's channel. Nikhil?
I mean, I was also just thinking, like, do I have something? And I just remembered I do have something. I have a podcast coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's a new thing. Yeah, it's taken me many years to go down this lane. I'm very excited. Please hear it. It's called Main Hu Yuva. It'll be on all streaming platforms. I'll be interviewing Gen Z young folks.
Amazing.
Every Thursday, a new episode.
So we're never gonna be on the podcast. Fuck your podcast. Nobody cares about your podcast. Nobody cares about your podcast.
Fuck off!
Fuck off.
Sahil can become like 50 and still look like a Gen Z. So Sahil still has a chance.
I have a chance, yeah. I'll try to. Like, my goal is I have 90 until 90. That's my like cutoff then, you know.
That's a good one.
98.
Awesome, dude. Congrats, man, on the podcast.
Thank you.
So that's coming on the Yuva channel. So that is also something that I will leave. Rohan?
I too would like people to subscribe to Sucharita's channel.
no, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
And check out Nikhil's podcast. Also, new episode of Crypto Podcast drops tomorrow. So that'll be out also on all streaming platforms. Show about crypto. We have completed 20 episodes in 20 weeks, and there's 20 episodes out there, and it's not an investment podcast at all. It's one of those podcasts where if you just want to understand what cryptocurrency is, I'm very fortunate. I managed to get into rooms with a bunch of very smart people and ask them all the stupid questions that I have. And so if you want to know what an NFT is, if you want to know what blockchain is, if you want to know what any of those things are without any hype or trying to figure out, like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's literally just like a glossary podcast. It's called A Show About Crypto. Please check it out. But mostly subscribe to Sucharita's channel.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think all of us will
Thank
agree.
you.
Sucharita's channel needs,
Thank
like,
you.
right
It was
now.
a very heartfelt plea to subscribe to my channel.
I literally subscribe right now. You're at 29.9. We like the least we can do is reach
Hey,
it
then
30.
subscribe to my channel also. She's not that far behind me. Hey, guys, I also have a YouTube channel.
30 को आने
said
दे
it's
ना.
a baby channel. It's a Tingu channel.
30 तो आने दे.
I just want
Sorry,
मेरा
sorry.
channel
Wow,
बज रहा है
wow.
background में.
हाँ मैं मेरा ये Zoom का खुल गया. Sorry. Yeah, but this is the real succession now. We are fighting for subscribe. This Vesta Roy
I
को.
just want crypto to go away, by the way, Rohan. I want it to vanish. Just like I never understand it, so I just want it to go away. I don't
But
want
if you
it to
listen to my podcast, I promise you give it a shot. It's genuinely from that perspective of, I understand nothing, please tell me. And episode 1 says the ideas also we try to wrap up in complexity of concept. Not for any other reason that I would not be able to understand if we had done it in any other way.
Yes,
So
that this was a
literally
plug-in
the
for your
point of-
podcast.
Thank you. But ideally crypto should not go away.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I mean,
Because
like,
then my podcast will go away. Sucharita.
To wake up, I want to wake up in a multiverse where crypto just doesn't exist. NFTs and cryptos just
You know
don't
what,
exist.
guys? Like you
We'll-
you subscribe to Taran Adarsh's channel. You go right now, and you subscribe to Taran Adarsh's channel and Subhash Keja's channel. You just, you know what? Screw this shit. Like, just screw it. This is war. This is it. Battle lines are
Amazing.
drawn. We are on
Wow,
opposite sides of the succession poster
It's
now.
really
Sucharita
telling
and I.
that the first two names that come to your mind are Taran Adarsh and Subhash Jha.
Tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are.
Very telling. No, so also speaking of multiverse, please go watch Spider-Man because I have to talk to you guys about Spider-Man. I've already watched it.
We'll be watching it tomorrow and we'll
And then
be...
we're gonna text.
That's
And then we'll finish
that's
it.
what next week's Binge O Clock is going to be, guys. Everyone who is watching it,
Yeah.
we've done, like, this is the 10th episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. It's been 10 weeks non-stop commitment. We are very, very happy and it's just going really well. So on that note, if you're enjoying, one last time, like, subscribe to all the channels. There are videos coming up on this channel. I'm going to be releasing a crowd work video soon, so more stand up for free.
Hey.
Okay, why not निकालते रहो content निकालते रहो, हम तो वैसे ही है.
True.
But long story short, I really hope you guys had a fantastic fantastic time watching this. And if you've not seen Succession, then clearly don't, because we've ruined it for you. But if you have seen Succession or you know someone who has seen it, please share this link and say that 4 super geeky people went all out and had a full-fledged Succession breakdown.
It's been almost 2 hours, guys. Well done us.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Very,
Well
very
done.
well
I have to
done.
go sleep now. Good
So,
night, boys.
yeah, on that note, thank you. Thank you, Sucharita. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks,
thank you.
I literally messaged Rohan, said if you're doing a stream, you have to have me on it.
Done.
So
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
Done.
And I am as good as my word, sir.
Done. And thank you to the league. Thank you for chatting. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. And more importantly, thank you so much, Devesh, for being such an awesome mod. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And on that note, we are going to be playing the ending music. You guys can hold on for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
And I am just gonna say, fuck off!
Fuck off. Everyone, at the count of 3, we should say 1, 2, 3. Say
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Okay, bye guys. Bye.
Such is gone. So are you playing the music?